Welcome back to the program. To some very horrible news now from Egypt, where 184 people have been killed after suspected militants launched bomb and gun attacks on a mosque in Egypt's North Sinai province. Witnesses say the Al-Rawda Mosque in the town of Bir al-Abded near Al-Arish was targeted during Friday prayers. Local police say many 4 off-road vehicles opened fire on worshippers. Egypt has been fighting an Islamist insurgency in the region, which has intensified since 2013. There have been regular attacks blamed on militants in the peninsula, but this is the deadliest assault of its kind. Well, President Salva Kiir of the world's youngest nation, South Sudan, has recently ordered for humanitarian aid convoys to be allowed to move freely in the country. This order of free aid access into many civilians in need was applauded by the UN Humanitarian Coordinator for South Sudan.
Aid agencies in South Sudan continue to face challenges in a bid to distribute food aid to civilians that have been displaced by conflict in the country. About 4.8 million people are experiencing severe food insecurity, much violence, and restricted movement of the humanitarian aid convoy prevents them from getting access to much-needed aid. At a news conference in Juba, the UN Humanitarian Coordinator for South Sudan expressed optimism that the recent presidential decree ordering free movement for humanitarians in the country may help improve aid access.
It's about the people who need the assistance. It's not about me or you or anybody. So if you try to really say that, how do we make sure that if this family or this woman or these children is actually in need of help, we make sure we get there. This is what all humanitarian access was about. It's not just a word on itself. It's about actually making sure we reach the people in need.
Last week, President Salva Kiir ordered that humanitarian aid convoys be allowed to move freely, unhindered and unimpeded around the country. And that's 2 weeks after the United States said it had lost trust in his government and threatened to pull support. When UN Security Council ambassadors visited in September 2016, Mr. Kiir agreed to eliminate illegal checkpoints and streamline bureaucratic processes and access to people in need. They found that army forces, groups and militias, particularly those affiliated with Mr. Kiir and Vice President Taban Dengai, continued to actively impede both humanitarian and peacekeeping operations.
When it comes to protection, it's not just about where people are, where people can be in terms of where you have a protection site. It's also regarding all the things that you can do to make sure the broader environment where people actually are living is actually conducive for them to actually living freely in a protected and safe environment.
The war in South Sudan was sparked by a feud between Salva Kiir and his former deputy Riek Machar, and it has plunged parts of the world's youngest nation into famine.
Internet technology is building sensational openings, mainly in the area of industrial innovation. One of such openings is electronic commerce or e-commerce. E-commerce continues to grow in Nigeria, and more Nigerians are embracing it as their preferred platform for buying and selling goods and services. With about 60 million Nigerians now enjoying access to the internet, the e-market is bound to get even bigger. But several issues around this industry, such as localizing the system and as well as lack of trust, has created a gap in the industry. This is why platforms like Tribe app are looking for better ways to understand and improve the e-commerce industry. And we'll get more on that. The Tribe app's co-founder Blessing Adedoyin joins us now in the studio to talk more on this. Thank you for joining us on the program. Now, what's this app all about?
Tribe app is designed to connect buyers and sellers of everyday services, things that we all use, your tailors, mechanics, plumbers, makeup artists, things that we all make use of every day. It was born out of the need to provide a solution to very real problems, unemployment, graduate unemployment to be precise, with the current rate at 14.2%. That's almost 30 million people without jobs. So Tribe app is working to create self-sufficiency for graduates and young people.
Oh, so how does it help improve safety between buyers and sellers?
It's a big problem at the moment. There's a lot of issues with trusting that the person that you're working with actually knows what they're doing. So the process that we've designed ensures that before anybody can actually trade on Tribe app, they've been fully vetted and background checked. So buyers have that guarantee that anybody who they're trading with is a professional in their field.
Right, it's a huge market, so,
Yes.
you know, what makes you stand out?
We're about the people. At the core of everything we do is the people. Like I said, there's a huge problem with unemployment, and that is the main thing that we're tackling, as well as trying to increase and embolden people to, you know, go for what they want to do and be self-sufficient. The people is at the heart of everything that we're doing.
So how does this, you know, platform, how does it work? Is it easy to use? Is it user-friendly? Who has access to it? Is it elitist or just anybody?
We'll be launching in 2018, and once we do launch, it's available to anybody and everybody. To use the app, you just download it. You can search a service that you want to use. You can, once you book your service, you can communicate directly with the seller. All the sellers, like I said, are background checked and vetted. Once you have booked, you can pay. The person wouldn't get their money until the job is complete. However, you've already paid before the job starts. Once the job is complete, you can review your experience. And the idea is to protect both buyers and sellers on the platform.
Right. Are there features in place to monitor services, you know, provided, like, you know, quality of service, for instance?
Yes. We've designed a rigorous vetting process that every single seller has to take before they can trade on the platform. And this is to protect both the buyers and the sellers. So once a seller has gone through our vetting process, they can then move on to trade on the platform if they've been verified. And we also take customer service and professionalism very seriously, and this has all gone through as well in our induction process with our sellers.
All right. So how do you connect with, you know, you mentioned, you know, what I will call people I will call artisans just now. If I were to use the app and, you know, I download it, well, you know, I have a little knowledge of how these things work. What about those people themselves that are, maybe some of them are semi-literate?
Okay.
How do they get access to customers through the app?
Well, the main thing for us is that our sellers are good communicators, and they need to have a basic understanding of navigating a smartphone, which most people do have. In terms of how the app works, there will be training and induction for everybody on how to use the app. So that's been taken care of as well. Right,
thank you so much. It's been enlightening, I must say.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the program. That's Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jackie Rogers.